You ready? You hydrated?
Yep, ready to go.
Hey guys, still here at the expo. Everybody knows Gary. He's been fishing longer than most. He was just telling us.
Come on, don't age
You
me,
said no.
don't
Wait,
age me.
he was just saying sophomore in high school, 1973, I believe was.
Correct, yes. 1973 is when I got introduced to competitive angling, and I knew that moment that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, it's a great job if you can have it. Anyway, more of your questions. Here we go. Jerk baits, crankbaits, spinner baits. A lot of that's been going on this week. How do you decide which? Is it water temperature? Is it just trial and error? How would you go about
Well, I
eliminating?
don't really want to say it's trial and error. All of the anglers that are competing here at the 2022 REDCREST on Grand Lake all have a lot of experience. Obviously, they qualified for the championship, but almost all the entire field has already competed on Grand Lake multiple times. The thing about Grand Lake and your fishing lures, a fishing lure is only a tool, whether spinnerbait, crankbait, jerkbait. As an angler, we use those tools to catch fish. So really, it's kind of hard to say this one's better than that one, because if you notice, all the anglers on their decks have multiple tools tied on. And if you were to look at all the guys competing, especially today on live, you'll see that they've got 6, 7, 8, 9 rods laid out there. Crankbait, spinnerbait, whatever, because you're trying to think of what tool presents them the best opportunity to be more efficient than the other anglers that are competing. So it's really hard for me to say because I'm not out there living the moment.
Would you say it was a temperature thing possibly, or is it just a day-to-day?
Yeah, I really don't want to say it's a temperature thing, because that's just one element. Let's say it may be a condition thing. Water coming up, clarity changing, wind direction. Water coming up at this time of year presents another problem, because if the water jumps real quick, you have all of your winter dead leaves. That gets in the water, and that will basically, on some banks, take a certain technique out of play. For example, a crankbait. Every time it hits the water, you got a leaf on it. So now you become very inefficient. So the angler may pick a spinnerbait up or pick a jig up if they want to stay on that same bank. So.
I saw that this morning at takeoff. It looks like there's trash floating all over the lake because the water's up 3 feet.
Oh,
so.
exactly. That's the reason why we have multiple baits laid out.
Yeah. The last question for Gary here. What do you do at your young age to stay in shape both physically and mentally when you spend so much time on the road now?
Well, I tell you, I love my drive time, because I kind of call it like my quiet time. I usually don't listen to the radio and stuff, and I just really like to take that time and focus. That's one of the really cool things about the profession that I'm involved in. It's a very individual sport. Failure and successes, I can't blame anybody but myself. I love fishing. I'm very passionate about it. But fishing and competing are two different things. And that's also one of the cool things about our sport. Everybody can relate to fishing because we've all done it. But it's only when you want to become a competitive angler, then the whole game changes. Right. You will learn more about yourself as an individual when you start becoming a competitive angler.
That was one quick follow-up to that. It's like, when you're out here in MLF, which, you started this whole crazy game pretty much. One of the questions was, do you fish with a score tracker in your brain? Are you fishing to make it to the next round, or are you fishing to win every time?
Well, I tell you, that's the cool thing about our format. Our format every day leads to something different. So when you read our tagline, every fish counts, it truly counts, because not only when our MLF pros put their boats in the water for their round of competition, they're trying to qualify for the next round to advance to the knockout round to make the championship round, but also the fish that they catch, they're trying to qualify for our heavy hitters.
Right.
They're trying to qualify for our REDCREST, and they're also trying to qualify for our cups. So every fish does truly count. Me as an angler, I like to listen to Score Tracker. I don't let it get in my head. Sometimes it does. It's hard to not. But a lot of times what it is, it's momentum going throughout the lake. So if the guys are really catching them and I'm not catching them, that's telling me the bite's on, I need to change water.
Right.
I need to change doing what I'm doing. But I also like Sport Tracker because if it slows down, that's when you start making your gains. So when Sport Tracker is real quiet, and you start catching them, then everybody else is going to start listening to what you're catching.
Exactly. All right, I appreciate it, Gary. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for the MLF. This is a wonderful event. I love this, and I'm looking forward to many more.
Appreciate it. Thank you.